Good morning. Good morning. I'm Tim. Welcome to Monday. It's a little bit of a late start for me, but I'm here. Gonna have some fun. One of my kids was sick all night, so they woke up right when or just before I was waking up. So then I had to get them to go back to sleep and relax so I could come out here. So much fun. Today is going to be biceps. I'm very excited about that. This is a streaming of my workouts for the year, at least, doing a body transformation. The thing that sets my body transformation apart from others is that I'm not using any sort of supplements. So that's no protein shakes, no protein powders, no creatine, BCAAs, nothing extra. Just trying to get all of my nutrients from the food that I eat. I'm not opposed to taking supplements. I think taking supplements has worked great for me in the past. I just don't know if it's 100% like necessary for me to take them in order to hit my goals at this point in my life. We'll see though. And a secondary reason is that one of my kids started preschool. Preschool is expensive. Cutting out supplements saves me at least $100 a month, so that's $1,200 a year. And in this economy, every little bit helps. So I'm gonna start with biceps. I'm gonna start with warming up with a 10 pounds. I tweaked my back on Friday doing deadlifts. And it's really annoying because I didn't. It wasn't even like I tweaked it while I was lifting. I was just in between reps standing, and I shifted just a little bit and irritated my spine. So I am gonna try to get through this workout. I think I can do it if I don't move my back. I should be fine. So it's a good incentive for me to not be doing any sort of rocking. All right, here we go. Oh, that wasn't bad. I don't know why, but my TV will not connect to Twitch for some reason. All right, I think I figured it out. Don't think it's connected to the internet. That would be a driving factor. Alright, gonna go 20 pounds. $9.07 kilograms. I gotta fix my dumbbells. So this week, for the first time, I'm gonna do the 35 pounds instead of the 30 pounds for dumbbells. Moving up. It's nice to be making progress on doing the 15 reps. I was doing 40 pounds sets when I was doing the 10 pounds, or sorry, 10 rep sets. But when I moved up to doing 15 rep sets, I dropped down to doing 30 pounds. But I've been able to do 5 sets of 30. So moving up to 35 pounds. And as soon as I can do 5 sets of 35, then move up to 40s. After this month is over, in August I may go back to lifting heavy. Instead of doing low rep, go back to doing, instead of doing high reps, go back to doing low reps, high weight. Or we'll see. I was only going to do the high reps, low weight for June, but I had some off days and vacations and stuff that were kind of threw off being able to see what the progress was like. All right, here we go. 35 pounds. All right. Whew. That was not easy. Oh man. So much fun though. All right, let's do that again. I don't know if I'm gonna make it through all 15, but I'm gonna give it my best shot. All right. Well, that wasn't even halfway through. That's okay. So 7. All right. Well, we'll move on down back to 30. Some more sets. And that's how we make progress. Slowly but surely. that was not easy. Yeah, got a lot done this weekend. I know you guys can't tell, but cleaned up my garage a bit, so it was fun. Washed my truck. Um, since having kids, like, I haven't really driven my truck a lot because it's not easy to put the car seats in. So sometimes I forget to turn it on, and then the battery drains. Then I have to jump it, and it's like a whole thing. So I got it fired back up this weekend. I was driving around. I love my truck. It's it's funny. I never thought I would be a truck guy when I was younger. I thought that trucks were kind of superfluous. Like, why would you drive around in a big vehicle and spend tons of money on gas? And I ended up buying one because my car sucked, and my brother-in-law he could sell me his truck, or he's getting rid of his Mercedes, and I was like, man, I think I'll go for the truck, because Mercedes like to it's they're not cheap to buy, but they're really expensive to maintain properly. So I went with the truck. It's a Toyota Tundra, and man, it's got the V8. I love it. I love driving it around. It's a lot of fun, and it was nice because when I needed a new job, I was able to just start working for myself because I had a truck. But and the thing that I like about the truck is it's just so much safer than driving around a car. My last car was a Saturn, and it sucked for like people were almost constantly driving over me in traffic. Now, a week after I bought the truck, I think it was like a week or 2 weeks after, I was driving down the freeway at night, and all of a sudden, in my rearview mirror, I see a car just spinning at me, and was able to gas it and move out of the way in time. But had I been in my old Saturn, that thing had no like pick up and go. I never would have made it out of the way in time. That would have wrecked me. And I was just like, nope. I like trucks now. I like bigger vehicles. I like the safety it provides. That's what I do. I gotta go check on something. I'll be right back. Couldn't see my kids, if my kid was in bed or not. They're still there. All right, back to it. All right, that was 11. Gonna move down to 25 pounds, 11.34 kilograms. And I know that people will be like, oh, like, you drive a truck around, you gotta spend a lot on gas. And it's true. That's a very small price for safety. I think if I was gonna get a small car, if I ever had to commute, that's when I might be inclined to get like a Tesla. I feel like Teslas they give you a lot of safety features. You can see a lot of what's going on the road, and you should always be able to get out of the way of trouble in a Tesla. Those things are so fast. All right, 25 pounds. So fun part. The fun part about when you're lifting is when you go back when you go back down on weights. It's just that when it's so much heavier than it normally is, or so much harder. Like, man, 25 pounds should be a lot easier than 35 pounds. Things that are light on the way up sure are heavy on the way down. I like to go backpacking, and I always take, well, I go backpacking with my family, or if all the men in the family would go for this backpacking trip. And we hike like 8 miles in the mountains, and then we get to our camp and we hang out there for like a few days, 2 or 3 days. So I take a lot of like beer with me, or I have, and I've hiked out with like an 80 pound pack because of all the beer I brought, and it's so nice because on the way back, having drank all the beer, like I've come back and my pack's been like less than 40 pounds, and that was nice. And it's not just the beer. I like the idea of when I get done with the 8 mile hike that I have like ice cold beer at least for a day or so. So it's not like I carry out 40 plus pounds of beer. I also carry out ice or dry ice. But after hiking 8 miles, no, nothing's better than a nice ice cold beer. And I learned with the dry ice, like you might have cold beer for like a couple of days if you bring enough dry ice. In the mountains, like when you put that, it takes a while for that to melt. Hello. My chicken pot pie says, "What's up? What's up, man?" Just knocking out biceps Monday morning on the way down from the ladder though. So doing 25 pounds, 11.34 kilograms. This is the first week where I hit the 35 pounds for a set of 15. Only managed one complete set. Then did a set of 7, but it'll get better. It's definitely harder doing the. Thank you for the follow. It's definitely harder doing sets of 15 because I can do over 3 sets of 10 with 40 pounds. But yeah, then those 5 extra reps and that dropped. But I started in June, went down to doing 3 sets of 15 with the 30 pounds. So starting in July, was able to make it up to doing the 35 pounds. So who knows, maybe by August, I'll be back to doing 40 pounds. We'll see. I don't think it probably won't work out entirely that way. But maybe sometime in August. But you never know. Did you have a good weekend? My chicken pot pie? Man, last or 2 weekends ago, I went camping with my kids and my wife's family, and we are at this campsite for like 2 days. Had lots of fun. Kids had a blast, and I've got little kids, so they're just running around all the time. And I found out like from my mother-in-law yesterday after we packed up and we left. We were the first to leave. Everybody else stayed for a few hours after we left. But they ended up right next to my mother-in-law's tent, which we were sharing a campsite with. They found like a nice little rattler, little rattlesnake. And I was I'm just really happy that my kids didn't get bit. But it was a blessing because you teach kids to watch out for rattlesnakes, and you teach them to watch out for things, but you just never know. Um, and I'm glad because where it was is also where I went to the bathroom at night when everyone was asleep. I know I walked through that same area, so and coming across a rattlesnake in the dark is definitely not something I was looking forward to. My brother and I, when we were kids, came across yeah, rattlesnakes are poisonous. We came across a 4 foot long rattlesnake at night when we were playing. We were playing paintball in this kind of junkyard sort of setting, and came across this 4 footer. There's this flag that was pretty big during the Revolutionary War, and it's super popular today. It's a yellow flag in the U.S. and it's got a rattlesnake on it, and it says "Don't tread on me." And it was really popular during the Revolutionary War. I always thought it was super cool until, and I still think it's cool, but I think it like I thought about the other day what it would be like to have to explain why that snake is scary to someone that's never heard of a rattlesnake. And when you tell someone, oh, it's got a rattle on its tail, like if you didn't grow up with them, let's say you were coming over from England, you might think that makes it sound like the most adorable snake ever. Oh, it's got a rattle, and it like tells you when it's around. It's like a baby snake. You'd have to explain that no, it's really really poisonous and scary. And like, oh, okay, like a snake with a rattle on it's scary. So yeah, yellow. It's a yellow one. But just the idea of having to explain why your flag is scary. I think it's probably comparable to when you think your screen name is like an obvious homage to something, and then you find out that no one understands the joke in your screen name. And then you're sheepishly explaining it every time you play with someone. You're like, oh, well, this is what my screen name means. What's up, Copa? You're a shining man. Well, it's definitely warmer in my garage this morning. We we're supposed to get like over 100 degrees this week, which is, let's see, so it's 35 degrees Celsius. Try to remember to do that conversion from Fahrenheit to Celsius. So, California, I'm in West Coast. Dixie Vixie says, I'm shining because I'm a star. Oh, thank you, Dixie. Appreciate that. It's very nice of you. You always say the nicest things, Dixie. You guys playing it up today? My chicken pot spice. I'm in Florida. Oh man, how hot is it in Florida right now? Because I know they were talking about we were supposed to get 107 degrees Fahrenheit here. Which is I think like 37 degrees Celsius, or about 37 degrees Celsius. It's pretty hot, I bet. I bet. I saw a video yesterday on YouTube where a guy was advocating for the importance of having polarized sunglasses. And he had to have been in Florida or somewhere because he uh, shows that with the polarized lenses, you can see this alligator under the water that you, or no, it was a crocodile. It was a crocodile under the water that you couldn't see otherwise. Kobe says, Dixie Dixie, Tim getting fit has power. He can give people energy while smiling. Oh, thank you. So yeah, I couldn't imagine. There's so many crocodiles and alligators you guys got to deal with down there. The one that's crazy is when you see them climbing fences. Just the nonstop. The other one, like I saw recently, was like a video where this guy in Florida was saying, all right, like a lot of people ask, like, how can you tell if there's a crocodile or alligator in the water? And I'm gonna tell you the surefire way to tell if there's a croc or an alligator in the water in Florida. And he goes and he like touches it. He's like, see, you touch the water and it's wet. That's how you know. If there's water, it's wet, and there's crocodiles and alligators around. And I was listening to a guy from Australia talk about it, and he talked about how people will buy property in Australia. They don't really know what they're doing, and they'll be like some, it'll be in the outback or it'll be in the wilderness. There'll be nothing around, and they'll have some small like pond there, and they'll assume that there's no crocodiles or alligators there in this tiny isolated pond, and then they'll find out nope, they're there. Those suckers will crawl for miles and miles and miles in between water. They are a insane creature. So Popeye says, I'm going for a bike ride. See you later. Well, man, have a good bike ride. Careful with that heat. It's gonna be like almost midday there. One of my kids just started getting sick yesterday, and when we were like the day before we started getting sick, I found out that some of the family that we were with has has COVID again. So I'm really hoping he doesn't have COVID. Then we'll all probably get a little bit sick. And being stuck in the house as a family with like sick kids is not fun. But we'll see. Thankfully, COVID now is just not that big of a deal. And for my kids, it was never that bad. The first time we got COVID was in like 2021. It took us a while to finally get it. When we got it, uh, it was rough because my wife was pregnant. So she ended up in the hospital for a little bit. So it was just me and my other child, and they got it before I did, but they like snapped out of it like super fast. Like I think they were only really sick for a day, and then they were like high energy after that. Versus for me, because it was the first time I got it, it was a little bit rougher, my energy like got sapped, and I felt so bad because it was just me and them. So I had to keep them entertained and deal with the fact that they were scared or sad because their mom was gone. That was a rough time, but we all ended up being fine, so it was okay. And then the next time we got it, it was not a big deal at all for any of us. All right, that is it for today. Thank you guys for coming by. Hope you have a good Monday and have lots of fun. Thank you so much. God bless you guys.